Welcome back to another episode of Chatter Talks Podcast, where we dive deep into personal growth, health, and the habits that shape our lives. I'm Alex, and with me today is my co-host and longtime friend, Emma.
Hey, everyone. Today, we're tackling something that we all know is crucial but often struggle with: self-discipline and maintaining good health. Whether it's physical, mental, or emotional well-being, discipline plays a key role in keeping us on track.
Absolutely. And I think many people associate discipline with something restrictive like a set of harsh rules. But it's really about freedom, because when we discipline ourselves, we create the life we truly want rather than being controlled by our impulses or bad habits.
Exactly. And when it comes to health, discipline is even more essential. You can't just wake up one day and suddenly have a fit body or a calm mind. It takes consistent effort.
So let's start by breaking it down. What does discipline actually mean when it comes to maintaining good health? 1. The connection between discipline and health.
To me, discipline is about making small, intentional choices every day that align with our long-term goals. For example, instead of grabbing fast food because it's convenient, you discipline yourself to cook a healthier meal. Instead of scrolling endlessly on your phone late at night, you discipline yourself to sleep early.
That's a great way to put it. Health isn't just about fitness or diet. It's also about mental well-being, emotional resilience, and even spiritual balance. Without discipline, people get stuck in cycles of unhealthy habits.
Yeah, and the truth is, discipline is hard at first. Our brains love instant gratification. But over time, if you keep making those small, disciplined choices, they become habits, and then they become your lifestyle.
That's so true. And once you see results, it becomes even easier. The challenge is sticking with it before the results show up. 2. Overcoming the struggle to stay disciplined.
A lot of people struggle with discipline because they rely too much on motivation. And motivation is unreliable.
Oh, 100%. Motivation is like a wave. It comes and goes. You might wake up one day feeling pumped to exercise, but the next day, you feel sluggish and want to skip it. That's where discipline steps in.
Right. It's about committing to the process, even on the days you don't feel like it. That's why I always tell people to start small. Don't aim to work out for an hour if you're new to it. Just do 10 minutes. Once that becomes normal, you can build from there.
I love that. It's the same with healthy eating. You don't have to suddenly cut out all sugar and junk food overnight. Just start by drinking more water, adding more vegetables to your meals, or reducing portion sizes. Small wins build confidence.
Yes. And another thing, accountability. If you struggle with discipline, find someone who can keep you accountable. It could be a friend, a coach, or even an app that tracks your progress.
Absolutely. When someone is expecting you to show up, you're way less likely to quit. 3. Mental discipline. The key to emotional and psychological health.
Now let's talk about mental discipline, because a lot of people overlook this. Your thoughts shape your actions, and if you're not disciplined with your mind, it's really hard to stay healthy in other areas.
I couldn't agree more. Negative self-talk, procrastination, overthinking, these are all mental habits that can destroy discipline.
Yes, one of the best ways to build mental discipline is through mindfulness. Simple practices like journaling, meditation, or just taking deep breaths before reacting to things can change the way you approach challenges.
And cutting out distractions, too. If you spend all day on social media, your mind gets flooded with information, making it hard to focus. A disciplined mind is a clear mind.
That's so true. I try to set boundaries with my phone, like no social media first thing in the morning and no screens an hour before bed. It makes a huge difference.
4. How to maintain a disciplined and healthy lifestyle long-term. So, we've talked about why discipline is important and how to build it. But how do we maintain it long-term? Because let's be real, life happens. There will be days when we slip up.
I think the key is forgiveness and consistency. People often think if they mess up once, they've failed. But discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up more often than not.
Yes, missing one workout or eating one unhealthy meal doesn't ruin everything. The problem is when people think, oh well, I messed up, might as well give up. That's the real trap.
Exactly. Another thing that helps is finding joy in the process. If you hate your workouts, find a form of exercise you actually enjoy. If you dread eating healthy, experiment with new recipes until you find meals that you love.
That's so important. The more you enjoy something, the easier it is to stick with it. And honestly, when you feel good, when you have energy, when you sleep well, when you feel strong, you don't want to go back to unhealthy habits.
Absolutely. And lastly, remember your why. Why do you want to be disciplined? Is it to feel better? To be there for your family? To live longer? Keeping your why in mind makes it easier to stay committed.
5. Final thoughts and takeaways. This was such an insightful conversation. Let's do a quick recap for our listeners.
Sure. Number 1, discipline is freedom. It helps you create the life you actually want instead of being controlled by bad habits.
Number 2, start small. Build discipline by making tiny changes instead of drastic ones.
Number 3, don't rely on motivation. Stay consistent, even on the days you don't feel like it.
Number 4, discipline applies to everything, not just fitness. Your mental, emotional, and even financial health depend on it.
And number 5, remember your why. Keep your purpose clear, and discipline will become second nature.
Well, that's a wrap for today's episode.
If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who could use some extra motivation. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know what resonated with you the most. Plus, if there's a topic you'd love us to cover in a future episode, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode of Chatter Talks Podcast.